Hi Year 2 students, my name is Ella and I am your teacher today. We've been doing a lot of learning about numbers and our number sense and how flexible we are with our numbers, and I congratulate you for all of your powerful learning you've done so far. Let's keep going. Last lesson we had a look at 3-digit numbers and how we can order our numbers and arrange our numbers from smallest to largest, and we were very good at that. We noticed that our hundreds were what we needed to look at first when we consider what's smaller or larger, then our tens and then our ones. Well done. And we got to play the ladder game. So I have got a few examples of our ladder games that we played in between lessons, and you can see that I've managed to get all of my numbers from smallest to largest, from 0 to 100, on 2 games, which was pretty clever. And on my 3rd game, you can see I couldn't fit these numbers in, so I put them to the side and finished my ladder. So I hope you had a great time with that. I hope you learnt a lot about how we order numbers from smallest to largest. So for today's lesson, you're going to need your learning book, a pack of cards. You're going to need some things to count with, and we will be using our 10 frames. You should have one of these in your learning book ready to go. Okay, so let's start with a number talk warm-up. We're going to use a 100 chart today, and there's lots of things to notice about our 100 chart. We can have a look at our numbers 2, 4, 6, 8. We might look at our numbers 5, 10, 15, 20, and I know we've done this before, our skip counting. But for today's lesson, we're going to get very good at counting by tens and not starting at 10, because I think we can do that now, can't we? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. What we're going to do is find a number and start counting in tens from that number. So let's find one just here, 25. Nice benchmark number. 25. Let's count in tens from 25. 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95. Great, we've got to just before the end of the hundreds, 95. I wonder what 2 lots of 10 less than 95 is. So 95, subtract or take away 2 lots of 10, 20. 95, take away 10, 85, take away 10, 75. So 95, take away 2 lots of 10, we'll end up at 75. Okay, let's try another random number. I found, I think we've done 30. I found 30, but here's a question for you. What's 30 add 100? It is. It's 130. Okay, let's try another. 2. Okay, let's count in 20s. We'll start with the 2. 2, 22, 42, 62, 82. So I've counted by 20s, 2 lots of 10 to reach 82. Let's go backwards. We're taking 20. 82, 62, 42, 22. Okay, who can see a pattern in our number chart? That's right. If I run down my 7s column, I can see 7 all the way down. So if I counted by 10s in my 7 column, I'll always end up with 7 in my 1s. Here's our tricky numbers. These don't sound like the other ones. After 10, we change our names to the teens. So we say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And that's the funny thing about the English language, because we have special names for these numbers. Today's learning intention is how we find two parts that make 20. And we'll know that we can do that when we can show two parts that make a whole of 20. And we're going to lean on our learning prior to today, which is we know our numbers to 10. We know 5 and 5 will make 10. We know 4 and 6 will make 10. We know 7 and 3 will make 10. We know 2 and 8 will make 10. And I think there's one more. Is it 6 and 4? We know those numbers will make 10. We even know that 10 and 0 will make 10. So now that we've got that knowledge, let's have a look at what makes 20. Today we're going to need some 10 frames. So I have 2 here. I know that you have some in your book. Let's work on this together. Okay, let's start on our 10 frames. So I'm going to use a fun number, and that number is 16. So I am going to make 16 on my 10 frames. Now, what else do I know about 16? Well, it is a 10, 1 10, and it is 6 ones. 1 10 and 6 ones. Here is my number 16. Now, what do I need to add to this number to make 20? Oh, I can see I need these numbers to make 20. So I'm going to add 4 more to make 20. Now I can see 16 and 4 make 20. Now let's have a look at this very carefully, because here are my groups of 10. I can see 6 and 4 make 10. 6 and 4 make 10. If I add my 10 to make 16 and 4, it will be 20. So I can use my knowledge of how to make 10 when I'm making 20. Let's write that down. So now we've made it, we're going to draw or represent our numbers. So let's have a look. I'm going to use the bar model. We've used this before. It looks like a rectangle with a line in the middle. Remember, we put our whole and our parts. Now I know I'm going to write the number 16 and 4, so I think I'll make my 16 a bit bigger and write 16 here and 4 here, which makes 20. This is how I draw or represent my part whole of 20. I've made it, I've drawn it, and now I'm going to write it. I know that 16 and 4 equals or is the same as 20. Okay, that's our first job done. Okay, now let's see if that works again. I'm going to leave my group of 10 here, and I'm going to make a new number. And my new number is 13. I'm going to make 13. It's a 10 and a 3. How many more do I need to make 20? Let's have a look. I can see it on my tens chart. Okay, now on my frame I can see I have 13 and 7 more. Let's see, if I move my 10 away and just look at my group of 10 here, I can see that this is how I make 10. I make a 3 and a 7. So it's just the same. 13 plus 7 will make 20. Let's write that down. This is how I represent it with a drawing, my bar model. Remember, I'm looking for 20 and I have 13 and the other part is 7. So I can see that 13 plus 7 equals 20. And it's really helped me to know that this group of 10 is a 3 and a 7. I know 3 plus 7 makes 10. I also now know that 13 plus 7 makes 20. So now it's your turn. How many other ways can we draw bar models to represent how we can make 20? How many more combinations or ways can you make 20? Use your 10 frames if you need to. Have a think about those groups that make 10, and let's see if we can fill our page with models of 20 and how we can make part, whole and number sentences. Away you go. Now we're ready for our reflection. I hope you had lots of different bar models to represent what makes 20. If we know what makes 10, we should know what makes 20. Have a look at my model here. What have we got? We have a 10 and a 5. 10 and 5 make 15. If I add a 5, 5 and 5, that will make my 10 here. So I know 5 and 5 make 10. I also know 15 and 5 will make my 20. We must be very good at it. Time for our takeaway task, and this one I really like. So here we go. First of all, you need to take out the queens, the kings, and the jokers. Okay, no joke. And we're going to place them over here. Now we have just left a big pack of cards that has our jacks and tens and our 9s down to aces. Okay, so remember we took out the kings and queens and the jokers. All right, now we are going to put our cards in a very special arrangement in front of us. It will be a 3 by 3, like a big square. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the first layer. And then we've got to put some cards on top of these cards. So 1, 2, 3, and just keep going until you run out of cards. You can see I have 9 piles in front of me. And this game is going to help us remember how we make tens. Okay, it doesn't matter if the piles are not even, that won't make a difference to our game. So I'm ready to play. I have 3, 3 and 3. Okay, this is a special number, 3, 3 and 3. It makes 9, which is a beautiful square number. Now we're set to play the game. What we're looking for is pairs that make 10. Pairs that make 10, because we're going to get very good at that. So here we go. I can see lots of things to do here. The first move I'm going to make is my 7 and 3. I know 7 and 3 make 10. So they're going to come off the pack, and I'm going to place them over here in my winning pile. Right. Oh, we've got some jacks. What is a jack, I wonder? In our game today, a jack is 0. Remember, 0 means none of these. It's a good placeholder too when we're looking at our 3-digit numbers. So my next pair is going to be a 10 and a 0. A 10 and a 0, 10 plus 0, or none of these, makes 10. So there's my next pair, 10 and 0. All right, I'm going to put that in my winners pile and away I go. What else can I see here that will make 10? Oh, I can see another 10 and 0. A 10 and a 0 will make 10. 10 plus 0 equals 10, the same as. Okay, now what can I do? I'm looking at my cards. I need to make the next pile of 10. I can see two lots of 10 here, two options for myself. I'm going to pick this one next. A 5 and a 5. A 5 and a 5 make 10. Now I'm playing this game by myself. It's a fun game to play, but I could also teach to someone if they're around, and we could play as a partner game. Okay, each taking turns to find our pairs of 10. So, I can see some more options here for me. I know that I can't take a 9 and a 2. A 9 and a 2 won't make 10. A 9 and a 2 make, that's right, one more than 10, which is 11. I can't use those two. Okay, so I'm going to keep playing, and I hope you enjoy the Make the 10 game as well, and I'll see you next time, okay? I've got an 8 and a 2. Bye.